welcome back to Nat19.
Wow.
Boop boop. I'm going to put up Fantasy Grounds in the background, but before I do that, I'm going to roll to see who's going to give us a recap, so 1d8 minus 1. 1, 2, 3. Fittingly, David, please recap all of last game.
Oh.
This is a pretty easy one, if I personally think.
Stuff happened. Ryder died. She went out like a bitch.
Wow.
Your mom's dead. Yeah, Susan May died. She went out like a bitch.
Lord, it's
And
known as the
Lancer
Moon
won the
Cell.
Grail.
Oh yes, and Lancer won the Grail War. That also happened last game. That was important.
Lancer wins!
Lancer wins!
Big letters across the screen. Lancer wins!
Lancer wins! Stewie, fucking... Is that too much to ask? Stewie, time to learn to do tech stuff. Fucking Lancer wins! Lancer wins! Stewie, fucking... Is that too much to ask? Stewie, time to learn to do tech stuff. Fucking Lancer wins!
Lancer wins!
With confetti.
Lancer wins! Danny wins! Lancer wins!
Yeah.
Sonic wins!
I added the sound effect for you. Now you have to do it.
Sonic wins.
You don't have to do this.
Sonic wins.
Let's get to killing you guys. Diane.
Diane is going to...
Oh yes, I should also note for everybody, Aaron is Diane today.
Hi, I'm Diane Winters. Coming...
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, moving
Right, yeah,
over.
that's not a wall.
Yes, this is a wide.
keep thinking
This is a
you can't go there
wide
either.
open space. In fact, you could go off the map. It expands out basically infinitely.
Do his laugh, Logan. Do it.
He bursts out. It is a touch more maniacal than perhaps you would like. He hits the ground and you just just hear an almost forced.
You're evil. You have an evil laugh.
We see it. We're unnerved.
He's laughing like an evil dad! As Diane only manages to hear what sounds like the scraping of a hoof on the ground behind her and snow get kicked up. Coming out of invisibility.
Damn it!
God damn it!
Surely you didn't think Judecca was done! Fire ignites from behind a sheet of snow kicked up as he scrapes his foot along the ground. He's gonna go. Judecca phases in as he casts Flame Strike. Here comes a dex save for. Oh, she nat 20! She might do well against this, actually, as Diane turns to see Judecca appear, twist his Ransor around, and stab it into the ground. Didn't think I was done yet, did you? Half damage, as a column of radiant fire a column of flame bursts down out of the sky of the moon cell, striking Diane. She manages to resist a fair amount of the damage, because it does radiant, and she also takes half. But she unfortunately fails her constitution save to maintain concentration. The effect on Quantavius is ended as Diane is blasted by this fire. Gets to his feet. Thank you. I wouldn't stand a chance here if I was alone! And he takes out several vials that he seems to twist around. One of them he drinks. One of them he shatters in his hand. As he drinks it, it looks like space around him starts to distort very briefly. As you do this, you negate his attempt to use Time Stop.
Ah, thank God.
Thank God.
Not today.
In such a case, he's going to do a bonus action that he can do, and he's going to throw a single bomb. Do you see a vial fly out towards you, David? Goes for an attack, and he's probably going to miss. He absolutely missed. Everyone has been all like, you're going to be the end boss, Quantavius, and he's here like, I am a frail man. I am not strong. Everybody's expectations were way too high.
Oh my God, I'm so scared of all three of you.
Oh, jeez. This is why I summoned strong things to do things for me. You fucking counterspell Time Stop, and he's like, you still have that? Didn't you deal with me outside? Fuck, damn it. Like, runs behind the building. No, he, Get out of here, car. There's no cars in the moon cell. Actually, there could be, but there's not here. I put her on the map just to have her on the thing, but,
Hey, what's up over there?
let's find out. Let's hack and find out if this
dragon.
works. Let's find out if this teleportation works, guys.
Oh,
Please
God.
don't die out in space.
What a shitty end to our campaign.
Would one of you guys like to roll off the mishap table? Or would-
No, you do
No,
it.
no,
You
do it.
be
You
responsible
take
for their death.
Yeah, if you
No,
kill
I-
us,
no,
you're
it-
doing it.
It's either it's one of them or it's me. It's not anybody else.
I won't allow you to kill us again, Nico.
You guys teleport away from where you are, disappearing. Fucking 1d10 times 10% the distance traveled away from the location. So 1 sec while I...
You guys actually show up on the sun.
Son of a bitch!
You know what? It's space. You guys show up in space. You're not, you're closer to, you're like on the Earth side of the moon, but you appear in the like lower atmosphere, far enough up that you are in space, because this thing is not as far out as the actual moon is. Getting closer, you guys actually realize this moon, as it's been described to you before, it is substantially smaller than the real moon. A ways away from its surface, it's still quite far away, but luckily in space, nothing obstructs your view. Immediately freezing, slash burning, slash who could even say what that feeling is like, really? So here she goes again with that teleport table. Get over a 54. That's a 39.
Oh my god!
You're even more in space.
Similar area, you say.
The actual moon.
To the actual moon with you.
No!
You got, so this happens, you teleport, you end up,
What else?
We're just gonna chill in space.
Die!
I make no assumptions. I think I put us into the wrong moon.
The wrong.
How?
What?
I'm trying to teleport us into some kind of space inside the second moon. And it looks like I put us into the same space in the real one.
How are we alive?
How are we talking right now?
The space isn't real. It's filled in by what we think, so it can probably keep us alive. But we still need to get to the other one.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So think about how the moon is full of imaginary air later.
Or we can never think about that. and just
She snaps her
love life.
fingers and
Move
generates a
on
little
with
bit of
our
magic,
life.
which like digitizes. I don't like this place at all.
Agreed.
It's strange and
Agreed.
fake.
It's weird, and I don't like it.
It's a silly place.
So, Ian, is there anything you'd like to do on your turn, Ian?
Fucking.
Oh,
You guys, you guys have the lotus and stuff. I need to ask.
yeah.
Oh, that's actually fair.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to use this.
He just smacks the flower into her face.
Smashed it into.
Uses all charges.
Ian, if you long rest yourself, you can then use the heal spell on Isla.
You say if you wrong rest.
The long rest.
If you're wrong.
Oh, okay, I thought I heard wrong rest.
It's the wrong kind of rest,
Thought you were
man.
being lacist. Isla, you feel amazing. You are filled with regenerative energy that makes you feel refreshed. All of your magical energy is replenished instantly. Your health is all restored, as well as half of your HD.
Oh my god.
You
Looks
feel
like
the
it
presence
works.
of a sassy homunculus.
Oh. Hey.
The way that the amount that it is not tied to Gisei's soul is just cannot be overemphasized.
He's gonna like shove
That's-
him.
That's your
You're like,
action.
Idiot, you're supposed to do it to yourself, god damn it.
He starts
Yeah,
floating
well,
away.
And Let's go in this way.
Then we are back at the top of the turn order. We're back with David. What's up, David?
Okay.
We have David. We have David
So-
with us here today.
Got David here.
How you doing, David?
How you doing today, David? So I hear that you've come to the moon cell. You've flown all the way here to try to sabotage my plan to eradicate 80% of the human race. What can you tell me about that, David?
So here's the thing.
So who wants? Does anybody want to roll? Want to roll? Does
No, you kill us.
You do
Fuck
it.
off.
I will allow you all to be involved with the demise of David.
I mean,
Hey, Aaron.
me.
Aaron, did I hear you say me?
Yes.
Aaron, roll me 1d4 plus 1.
What did I do to you, Aaron? What the hell?
I'm
Roll
dead,
me-
I'm up.
Roll me 1d4 plus 1 to find out how many time stop turns Quintavious is going to have.
What the
That's 4.
Aaron!
Aaron,
What the fuck?
Frankly, you win easy on him, in my opinion. Time stops for him. He's gonna set up some things. Two things happen simultaneously. A prismatic spray is going to be hitting David, and
Why does that sound so dirty?
at the same time, a delayed blast fireball is going to be going off between Malaclips and Diane.
Oh my god!
Bye, Diane.
Which, as it was set up on the first of his 4 turns, is currently at 15d6. Boof. They both succeed. Look at you guys. Oh, that's real good. That's
I'm just
real.
imagining Jean just like for a second just looks over. There's nothing. Then there's just a fireball, and he's like, ah!
Oh yeah.
And then the 2 of you need to take 15d6 fire damage, except Jean, who takes none. Alright, so Diane takes a total of 25 damage as the delayed blast fireball explodes in between the 2 of them. Diane, you maintain concentration. And now for the prismatic spray. And dex save, David! Success! Alright, David. Oh, it's just more fire damage.
Okay.
Look at that.
That's fine.
Fire damage. David, you take 41, which is halved. You take a total of 8 after what's absorbed is absorbed. As the dust clears from this prismatic wave of light surging around you and a fireball detonating over near where they are, you see surrounding Quantavius. He now appears to have this coating of this icy substance along his skin, and surrounding that, you just see like a spectral frost seems to be floating around him like a mist following him. Seems to be pouring off of him.
You're in range, Quantavius.
Indeed I am. To Mugenkage, time for teleportation. She looks to the lot of you.
To the other moon!
This gives me a better idea of where we're going. Are the lot of you ready to try again?
Time to go to that 3rd moon.
All
Still
right.
send us to, like, yeah, Ian will heal himself because his sister seems real worried about you.
Aw.
He'll use the-
And then save that last one for your best friend Malaclips to have action surge again? You're awesome.
Or save it for David so he can get all his spell slots back.
Yeah, but fuck David.
Or save it for your dad
Already
because he's in
did.
trouble.
We gotta save him!
You gotta save your dad.
Are there any trees on the moon?
Can I fucking tree strike that shit? There should
She
be
just
trees on the
arrives,
moon.
sees pillars. She's like, if there's no trees, I'm free to define a tree however I want. These are trees.
Who decides what trees are,
Steps
really?
out of Quantavius.
Moon trees.
long rest.
Alrighty. Long rest. Boof! You now have 8 HD, all your stuff back, and you're at full health.
Well, bam!
Oh,
39.
nice.
He doesn't take any of it.
Oh, what?
As you hit him, you blast away what seems to be the frost that's on his skin is almost completely obliterated. After you hit him, as you hit the spectral frost both coating his body and surrounding him, it seems to erupt outwards and coat you. You're taking 40 cold damage.
What the fuck?
You take as the spectral frost hits you and lashes back, striking you, and then you're taking 2d8 more cold damage
What the fuck?
from fires
Why?
because he has both armor of Agathis and fire shield on. I am in fact within range, David, so feel free to chop away.
I guess I'll just hang out then.
Guess I'll just die.
Just
No,
wait for him to fucking kill me.
no, stop.
You're not allowed.
Diane!
Diane runs up and looks at Quantavius. Hey nerd, your shoes untied!
Is that vicious mockery? Did you just
Nerd, your shoes untied.
What was that vicious mockery?
Does he look?
No, not if it's not an effect or anything.
Fine, then you're ugly.
I would never leave my shoes untied, Diane.
Of course you wouldn't, nerd.
Guess that.
Got him.
Every time when Diane tries to use vicious mockery. Man.
Of course you wouldn't. You're not going to make me feel bad for being responsible. All right, Jude's turn. Hey Jude, fucking do something in the final battle.
Keep
He
laughing.
refuses.
That's something.
Feel free to have a good time. Just over
He's
there
just having
laughing.
the time of his life, man.
Every time he's
Brutal.
shown up, I've been like, he has a plan that he's gonna do something. This time he's like, they won't have Lancer. And every time he's just been immediately shut down. And at this point, if this were a more comedic game, while laughing, he would just get on the ground and curl up and cry while laughing.
That's a cute image.
I just wanted to make a world where I could walk around normally.
Tasha's hideous, crying.
Quantavius is going to go ahead and back up from you. Would you like to make a...
No.
Okay.
No.
So he takes a strike at you. He... Oof. Takes you down! So he doesn't have to back up. He brings his arm down. It turns into like this draconic-looking armored scaly claw. He brings it up into your chest and lifts you up off the ground with it. Step to the other side of you, steps over your body, and his eyes lock on to Diane.
David!
I got him.
What was that?
I got him.
Diane's got him.
You're
You're dead. You can't.
I am
say
fine.
anything.
I'm absolutely
Tetsu
fine.
looks back toward
You're
David.
bleeding out.
I'm
Looks
fine.
at fucking Jude. Looks
David,
at
I
Diane.
swear
Diane
to
says she's got him.
That's true.
Attacks Jude.
Alrighty.
Attack Jude.
Go ahead.
Boy.
He fucking,
Everything is fine.
he fucking,
Shut up, you son of a bitch!
as David goes down, Jude just like looking over beyond him, he's like, "Good job! We're one step closer to the paradise on Dreamer." You took him down.
Hey,
Ow! 1 second. Poof poof. And then he stops laughing. That wasn't very nice. As you swing down at him, he brings up the, stops laughing, he brings up his left hand, and your blade hits it, and as it does, you chop away a little bit of skin, and you notice that underneath it, his arm appears to have crystallized with this, purplish glowing, cobalt gem-like substance that looks very aged. I'm a bit stronger since last time. Physically, anyways. As he says he's stronger, you bring your dagger down under his arm, you stab him in the gut. The gem-like substance under his skin seems to only be mostly on that left arm. He lets out a...
you better hope you're stronger.
So, fucking 3 rounds left for you guys.
All right, I will.
David! Use your thing, David!
All right. Boop.
Oh.
Thank God.
Oh.
Alrighty. A burst of radiant light emits from David. It singes the back of Quantavius. The remainder of the frost coating his skin disappears, but he still has a... the remainder of the mist surrounding him is gone. His skin still seems to have this barrier around it.
Not down. Not down just yet. You fucking monster.
Jude stands.
And that's it.
That's his turn.
I use a reaction to break his hand.
He's demoralized beyond the point of combat.
Before you came here, he gave me a fragment of that gem what's in his heart. I'm brimming with power and eager to use it! As he strikes you, a wave of flame erupts from his weapon. He brings it down on you again, hits again, brings it down, strikes you. Fire, a crater is left under you, burned away. The snow where you were standing seems to have melted, and there's a slight elevation drop where you're standing because of it. And then he goes for his final attack, and misses that one.
Brimming with power? I can't handle that right now. So please do me a favor and die!
No!
A bit!
That's 23
Yay!
damage. You strike him, you do your damage.
Ah!
That's a miss, I'm afraid.
That's fine.
Still got your dagger.
Bonus
Gonna
action,
dagger him.
Dagger.
Hiya!
Only one of those.
And that's a hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
It'd be. Take that 5 damage.
Okay.
Jean, you got him? Help.
Yeah, 1 minute!
We don't have a minute.
I'm trying, David.
I will go up to Mr. Quantavius here.
Mr. Quantavius. Oh.
Quantavius.
Please, Mr. Quantavius was my.
Yeah.
I never,
alright.
I never had a
Did I
father
have
figure.
a father?
I didn't. I guess Akuma's technically my father. You know, you can say what you want about me. I came out pretty well for someone whose father
gonna hit
figure
you.
was Akuma. All right, go for it.
I'm gonna put an inspiration. I need to hit you.
I need to hit you.
Oh, you hit him.
I need to hit you. All right, you got him. So what's gonna happen here is maximum damage. So go ahead and apply. Go ahead and apply the smite, and then click the plus minus and hit max, and then roll your attack. Maximum damage on a critical with smite. This is gonna be gross.
Oh my god.
Shit, man.
Jeez.
So he takes 137 damage. That is a disgusting amount of damage that you just did as you blast him.
Oh.
You know, things look better already.
The sphere that was surrounding him is now gone.
One more time.
You're so hot, baby.
Oh,
Oh my god.
As you strike him, he takes 52. As you hit him, he is pretty devastated by those series of attacks. He stumbles backwards afterwards. You leave a huge gash down his front. Alrighty. Well, that makes sense. This is about what I thought would happen if I got up close to any of you.
It's not over yet, you son of a bitch.
No, I suppose it's not.
Dude, twins are just gonna show up and y'all are just gonna be wearing our dad's corpse. Like, oh, fuck.
I'm wearing your
man.
dad's skin.
He fails.
Just weekend at Bernie's
Do I
Quantavius.
make you Randy?
Sweetie, you know the other night when you called me daddy?
Judeka! Plan B! Alright, plan B. Wait, which one was that? I'm not good with letters.
Wait, I'm not good with numbers. Which one was B?
Which one was B? Alright, plan B. We surrender! Plan B, you must really be desperate.
Hold on. What's plan B?
Plan B is... You'll see. You'll have to do it yourself, old man! He turns over towards the two of you, brings his hand down, folds his entire hand into a point, brings it up, and he pierces it straight through his own chest.
Oh.
What the?
I don't need to be the one to kill you. I can fix everything afterwards. You hear a ripping sound. He seems to have just missed where his heart is. So, for once, I'll let Akuma out.
What
And you
did he
see
say?
this purplish light. This purplish light begins to stream out of the wound he left. I would not normally have done this, but because of where we are, it might be something that can be contained. So, David, this is the reality that Ian and Isla have to deal with. If you can't defeat this, there's no point in winning the Grail. And you hear a sudden snapping that sounds like bones or crystal crushing. Flames begin to erupt out from where he is.
No, I
Fireball.
want to use banish.
Back to your home plane! Fucking Quantavius just left there without the jewel. What have you done? What did you just do? Did you just send it back to Earth? What did you just do? You don't understand what you just did! Fucking...
Shows up in the middle of Tokyo.
And the
Hey,
camp
Julian,
and,
can you take care
and the
of that
campaign
for us?
ends with just someone being like, and that, children, is where Godzilla came from. You guys hear this visceral roar coming from flames that burn bright as if you were staring into the sun, but slowly you see the black figure of something large appearing within it, and this multi-voiced scream coming from inside that echoes through the area. Slowly, you guys see the colossal form of this boy stepping out of the fire.
It's loading. Oh my god, it's loading.
Oh no, a
Not
loading
the loading
screen.
Oh!
Oh no.
That's David.
What a neat spear you have, David. Oh my god, his token's huge.
You just gotta believe.
Fucking,
Oh,
you just,
too
as you
late.
guys teleport
Holy
in,
shit.
Yukin Kage behind you guys stands, having been kneeling down in a position to teleport you all. She stands, looks above you guys. That would be what I promised to fight, I believe.
Really like it if you'd fight it.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
We would really appreciate it.
1v1 that thing.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
Heck, from here she'll probably, she'll probably have a vicious mockery. It's the best thing she can do right now.
All right, go for it.
Clifford, shouldn't you be at home, you big red piece of shit?
Hmm. You heard it.
That made him sad.
What the fuck?
Oh,
I
Would
feel
you-
bad now.
heckin'.
And that's Diane.
He sees his children on a pillar in the distance, stands, and begins pulling himself along it, trying to get out of eyesight.
Too much of a coward to face your children.
Yes, I've said that multiple times.
Yeah, I know. Just wanted to remind you
bad
that you're a
about
fucking coward.
You should probably get to helping your friends. She's going to hop off the back of this thing, and she's going to cast. As she does, you see several little motes of light appear that flow around her. She's gonna use her action to cast a spell, jump down, and she effectively disappears from your guys' vision, unless you like look back to where she is.
It's like Akuma, I'm assuming it's Akuma. It feels like it's Akuma. Yeah, okay.
It turns towards you as you throw this thing at it, Isla. It moves one of its arms so that its torso looks more over towards where you are. The ground underneath you guys shudders as it smashes its hand down, just from having turned. And you just hear this voice in the back of your head.
Child,
Shit.
incinerate.
Its whole body begins to glow, and you see red energy and searing hot flames pour out the back of it. And then I changed the song, because fuck that. And it unleashes this blast of fiery energy that is akin to a volcano erupting in front of you. Everybody within 50 feet of it needs to make a dex save.
Oh, I'm pretty good at those!
Damn it!
Hey!
Oh my god.
Everyone succeeded except the rogue.
Uncanny dodge.
So I'm sorry to anybody this kills. I'm just gonna rip off the band-aid. Boop.
I'm alive.
It blasts all of you. Everybody, I expected somebody to get incinerated by that. You hear a cry coming from up above you.
It's Dat Gorl.
Dat Goro. And the draconic form of Mugen Kage descends on it, which here doesn't look so monstrous. It is actually somewhat smaller than Akuma is.
kaiju fight.
Yormir's like, this is the biggest I've ever been, and I feel tiny. I feel insignificant.
I am fucking. My mind is blown right now.
The first thing it's going to do. The first thing it's going to.
Dragon.
The first thing it's going to do is it's going to use one of the Crown of Stars that it casts to bonus action attack with that. It does so, it misses with that, so I gotta get rid of that now. It's gonna come down and it's going to go for a full multi-attack. It comes down and latches his fangs into the side of it. It's gonna take the damage, but it's not terribly concerned. It hits. Boof. It cries out as it takes damage, acid dripping from Mugen Kage's jaws. It's then gonna go for 2 claw attacks. Goes for the first one, hella hits. This thing is... That was a 37. I'm just gonna roll in a second attack just to... It hits with both. And, that's its turn. Ian, your turn. Again, you... Apart from the sending, you hear...
boy.
Apart from the sending, you hear in the back of your head...
Incinerate. Kill them.
He is going to run toward David.
Good.
Because he is not looking great. And, yeah, she's like, here, eat this flower.
Eat this flower! Eat it!
No, eat it. No, yeah, no, eat it.
Eat this flower!
Wait, what?
Uh,
Shoves it in his mouth.
David, go ahead and roll the full extent of a short rest. I'll mechanically short rest you.
Doing it.
Heal, you motherfucker.
Just gonna go ahead and use basically
As
all
many as you have to get up to maximum health.
That's a good call.
What use do I have for these?
Yeah.
Oh, not a lot.
David!
Oh, come on!
Five.
Oh, there's a good.
Christ, David.
3 hit points!
3 damage.
Three wounds!
That was so many ones!
How many ones did you just roll?
It's like
7 in a row.
6 in a
1,
row.
2, 3,
That's-
4, 5, 6. 6 in a row.
6 in a row.
Oh my
Right.
god.
I'm starting to get the impression you don't want to live.
Oh, wait. Because I took a short rest, we all get 10 hit points.
Yes, God, yes.
It raises up its hand, its entire arm ignites, like ashes begin pouring off of it along with flame.
Petulant children, you are sparks of my magnificence. How dare you?
I said, how do you feel so far about your day out with your girlfriend's dad?
Oh man, it's a ride. It's
Are you guys bonding? I hope you're bonding.
Yeah, he's threatened me like a couple times already. So
He's threatened me a couple of
He does
times as
that.
well. I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just.
I'm not on your side, Dad.
I don't need you to be on my side. I have your best interests in mind,
God.
daughter.
He's like forgotten her name. It's been that long. He's like Spawn.
If you don't speak to me with some
Come on,
respect, Ryder. Wait, no, she won't.
I killed her.
Girl Ian, please calm down.
What do you? You're me. Girl Ian.
That's what she is to him. Girl Ian.
Oh no, I hate it.
oh,
Is everybody ready to fucking see if it recharges Blast Wave?
Oh my god.
yeah, just get it over with.
Does it? Wait. No, it does. It does. It exactly does.
God damn it.
Oh.
I guess this is just what it does. It has other abilities. It can attack. I guess it's just gonna go ahead and keep blast waving.
Ian.
It is going to take a step forward. Flames erupt from its body again, and dex save for everyone, including Mugen Kage.
Don't think I can do... No, there's nothing I can do about that.
Fire damage.
Oh right, yeah, damage. Yeah.
Luckily, you're doing pretty good against that. He hears that. He will spend his turn fleeing from you.
Cool. I hope he's fast.
He has a movement speed of 5 feet.
Time at least.
All right, here he goes.
All right. I swear to God.
He hit. Okay, so he hits Isla and he hits David.
He really doesn't like us. Like,
Your father doesn't approve.
why? What does he know?
Neither of your fathers approve. See?
Akuma and Quantavius are your gay dads.
Yes, though. Dude, I just imagine both of them sitting in like armchairs. Akuma's got glasses on and a book, and he's just like, "We never talk anymore."
Into this fam. Dad, what are you doing?
Simplifying things.
Okay, could you be less cryptic right now? Like, are you helping us or are you dicking us out?
There you go.
I'm saving them.
Okay. I
But
can
I
work
have a
with
good
that.
sword.
Thank you for clarifying.
Thank you.
For once.
You people really can't read between lines. I thought I taught you better.
Come on, you've been trying to
Very,
kill us
very
constantly.
disappointed in you.
Oh my God.
Very disappointed
I'm not-
in you, boy, Isla.
Not.
You should really show some initiative. Looks up at dragon flying by with daughter. Like, look at your sister. This is initiative.
Look at
I tried!
Dad finally said something nice about me. Oh my god!
Come on, I tried. It wasn't my turn.
God shit, no.
Well, it sounds like someone's making
initiative order.
excuses.
You know, I'm just gonna shoot you. You mean it?
Die, Dad. Don't you fire that gun at me. Don't you fire that. If you do, Ryder will. No, she won't. She won't. She won't.
You do,
Put that
Ryder
gun-
will kill you.
We killed
wait.
your dad.
Can I heal them through whatever you're doing?
Not if you have to reach them. They're perfectly safe in there. Akuma will not be able to hurt them unless something happens to me.
I did not give consent.
I don't care!
Who are you?
What's your name again?
I'm the one with the good sword.
No, I'm nervous. I'm gonna use that inspiration.
Okay. What is... I don't... Well, I mean, you should know... Are you sure you don't want to save it for the final boss?
I might need it later.
It would be a shame to waste it now.
This dagger can only revive any given person once. Bow, 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 bow. Nice. Gonna bonus action fireball. Hey, David.
Yeah, man.
No!
Dude, I'm the
Jesus.
best
I wonder what
person
happened to all
to
my
be taking
friends.
this.
You succeed.
I'm absolutely the best person to be taking this fireball right
It
now.
fires it at you. You take 4 damage total from a fireball detonating as it blasts you with it.
Oh, fuck.
So, I rolled a d4. Diane will wake up in 4 hours with 1 hit point.
No, you're fucking not.
Just
My
stall
God.
Akuma for that long.
I've gotten a response from Brett. I've gotten 2 just in. The first one was, I'm still alive. Whoa. The second one was, oh shit, as I explained how you're dying.
Oh, okay.
Could you let them out? We really
No.
need their help.
Don't mistake what I'm doing for helping you.
Then what are you doing?
Only one person has to die.
Then don't let it be them. Help us.
I'm...
Then me and you can settle this later. How about? After we take down your fucking demons.
Destroying it here does nothing.
That's Diane's turn.
I can't believe I'm doing this. Throws a bomb over at Akuma. Akuma's tail effortlessly lashes it away, bats it into the atmosphere. Akuma's body, his huge visage, turns over towards Quantavius. This is the first time I'm seeing you face to face. Alright, let's do this then. I had never thought that anybody would do this much damage to you. Never in a million years did I think anybody would. And looks over towards the others, looks up towards the dragon. But these circumstances mean nothing ultimately, do they?
I'm gonna spend my turn touching Diane all over.
Disrespectfully,
my.
of course.
Oh.
I'm looking to see if she has any potions.
Call out to Quantavius. Dad, what did you mean? Beating it here means nothing.
This place is virtual. Everything here is a projection. If it's killed here and I leave, the cobalt gem I shattered inside my body will likely go back to normal. Even if it didn't. If you were to kill it here, it would just respawn in its own plane. And then it would have dominion over all of us.
Then what do you suggest we do?
I make my wish.
Your wish is dumb.
That's not gonna happen.
Nope.
Yes, I'm very clear on the idea that none of you want me to make my wish. That's why I'm not asking you to
What
let
if you
me.
never leave?
I'm just... What if I never leave?
You said if we take this thing down and you leave, what if you never leave?
Do you think this space would allow me to stay?
Maybe not you, but maybe a corpse.
Kill me and the gem has no power. Besides... Man, this is a long 6 seconds. Besides...
Yep.
Who's to say that after everything's said and done, this place won't eject everything back to the earth?
Look, we'll figure something out. You know how smart we are. You know how determined we are. We
By all
will figure
means.
out a way that doesn't involve genocide.
Then by all means, do it.
Can you trust us enough to let us do that?
No.
Because we're just gonna have to prove it to you. I have healed Isla, by the way.
Okay.
Bah,
I
bah,
leave healed.
I was on a dragon.
And
What?
no longer going to burn to death.
Shit, you right.
That said,
It's also- yeah,
that said, still
there's
gives you
also-
advantage on attack rolls and does a lot of damage. That said, it also does
But that
necrotic.
damage is necrotic, so this is
Yeah.
like fucking useless sword. Okay,
Throw a cold bomb at it.
that's what I'm gonna do, baby.
Please.
Okay.
That's another fucking nat 20!
Another nat 20. Oh my god.
So, Quantavius is gonna... doesn't want to drop that shield because he's trying to save Diane.
Wow. Weird.
Not weird. He doesn't want additional people to die.
Never thought I'd hear that
Hooray.
being said.
Just,
And
90%.
throws a bomb!
Yeah.
Misses!
80% of people, thank you.
Misses with his bomb!
Wow. Wow, Dad, I'm so much better than you.
Oh, probably.
There you go. I found
Why
it.
did you become so much weaker the instant you stopped trying to kill us?
Bam.
Fuck you.
He became less useful the
Says
instant he
Logan
ran
in the
out of
PhD.
7th plus level spell slots.
Get food.
Ow. You know what? He fire damaged me. I'm gonna leave now.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh.
I don't want to be here anymore.
My perfect hair. How
All
dare
right.
you.
Go ahead.
First attack. Bam.
That is a hit.
Dude, hell yeah.
Remember,
I
if
will
he's.
throw. I will throw my sneak attack on it
I was gonna say, if he's.
because I'm pretty
paralyzed.
sure that it's gonna be really good.
If he is paralyzed, then go ahead and flag the attack as a critical hit.
Bam.
Oh my god.
Oof.
Kill stealing son of a bitch!
How dare you?
Malachite.
No fucking way!
Sack of shit.
Fucking non-mage!
Malaclips the Demon Slayer.
So quiet.
God damn!
So how do you want to do this? As you stab into it, Mukukage will unleash the remainder. She will fly up into the air above you guys, spread her wings out. There's a flash of light from behind Mukukage as all of the remaining motes of light fire off all at once and begin blasting Akuma. Large chunks of Akuma begin to fall off, dissolving into flame. It lets out a huge roar as it does, but can't manage to move or dodge out of the way of most of them. At the very end, Mukukage reels her head back and unleashes a torrent of acid onto the remains of Akuma.
Oh, second attack.
Oh my god.
I want to make sure it's dead.
Always double tap.
There's no need. I don't have the resources to fight all of you and a dragon.
So you give up?
No.
And where does that leave us?
I suppose you're free to kill me, and that would give you your wish. I put everything within my power in front of you that I could. Twisted the Dial clan to try to produce a weapon to use against you. Summoned a god in a system that should not have been able to. And though it is dormant and not nearly as powerful as it should be, I had thought that witnessing Akuma would make you realize what it is I've been fighting against. This isn't even a sliver of the danger that comes with it. If it were ever to be truly freed, this is nothing. What is your wish exactly?
My wish?
Moves over, starts walking towards David. Yes. At this point, you can either kill
Back
me
over toward Diane.
or convince me of any path that would be better than mine. This Grail is able to apply logic that we know to things. It can use any method that we understand to try to achieve an outcome. If you know some method that I don't, well, at this point I have nothing to lose by listening.
I just want to free your children from that demon. I want to sever their connection to you and that demon. That's what I wish for.
I see. And what is the method by which you'll do that? Because if you make that wish on the Grail, there is only one path that it may take to achieve that, and it is not one that you would like. Without any external input, separating their souls from Akuma means to kill them. Their souls are tied to him, intrinsically. Removing the connection means killing them. So if you make a wish like that, that's all it'll do. Removing it from the sphere of the world's influence is possible, trapping Akuma so it's in a place where it can't affect them is possible, but methods to do that without it eventually growing powerful enough to escape are effectively impossible. There was one way. Which is why I needed Ryder. That was my wish, and that was to ensure my children's safety. He looks over towards Ian and Isla. The purpose of having Ryder make a wish would be to perfect the prison that is my body, and try to, if the Grail could manage it, which I don't think it can, but my only hope was that if the Grail could manage it, use me to separate Akuma from the world. It wouldn't deprive you of your connection to it, but it would prevent Akuma from ever returning to it. It was an uncertain wish that I was hoping the Grail would fill in the blanks for. But I am a haphazard lump of flesh thrown together by holy individuals, priests and monks and what have you, who sacrificed their lives to form a prison around Akuma. But I am haphazard. I don't believe that my body can permanently contain it. Especially not now that it's tasted freedom.
So, Ryder's wish wouldn't even come true now if it was wished?
Don't know. That was the one variable that I was hoping that the Grail would sort out for me. The Grail knows them.
Plan than the first one, though.
I was going to do both. I don't think you quite understand that the Church would still be after you if they ever found out you had demon blood. Whether or not Akuma was sealed away doesn't matter to them. That's not even their concern.
When he says this church, like, Malekith just looks at Yormir.
We know. It does not matter in the slightest.
Yeah.
I know you might not see it that way, but no amount of safety is worth a wish like that. I'd rather fight for centuries than let you kill those people.
Well, then there is no convincing you, and I never thought that there would be. That's why your mother and I decided not to talk to you, and why I fully understand that I have no right to claim to be your father or offer you advice or tell you what to do. I gave that up the moment I decided this was what I wanted to do. He turns. So go ahead and make your wish, David. I don't believe in attrition for the most part. I could stay here, and I could talk to you for any length of time about which of us is right and how we're both probably wrong. But ultimately, nothing I do is going to convince any of you to see things my way.
There's nothing we can do to change your mind. So,
No.
Could you not have just told us about this years ago? We could have worked with you to find a better solution. You wouldn't have to have been so alone.
I earnestly believed and believe that there is no solution, that my twisted fate has bound the two of you, by no fault of your own. He puts his hand over the spot where he dug into his own body, and he begins trying to move forward, starts walking out towards the darkness. But what I could have done doesn't matter anymore. You've both proven that you're strong, and both of you are much stronger than I am. I will continue trying to search until the end of time for a way to help you, no matter how much you hate me for it, or what I have to do to achieve that. And if there's one thing I've learned in this war, it's that I'm sure you're going to keep surviving no matter what I do. Thank
Dad,
you.
but even if we disagree, even if we think you're about to make a horrible mistake, even if we have to kill you to stop it, you're still my dad. I'm always gonna love you. I'm going to attempt to hug him even if he's gonna try and get away.
He will definitely not look at you guys when you do that, but he won't stop you
I'm
or
just gonna
react
stand.
violently.
I'm not gonna try to hug him. I'm just gonna stand next to Ian while he does that.
Ian,
Yeah.
with all of the atrocities that I've committed, the people I've sacrificed to summon demons, the pacts I've made, the hopes that I've twisted, and what I've put you through, if you were to side with me, or still consider me your father, you might as well be turning your back on mankind. That's the same thing as losing your humanity. Please.
I don't have to side with you to love you, Dad. Your
You pull-
family.
He very, not aggressively, but quickly pulls himself away from you. No violent movements or anything. And spend the rest of your days loving a being that will destroy mankind.
If you try anything like this again, we're gonna stop you.
He walks out into the cold. You notice a small trail of blood behind him. Not a lot, just drops. I will continue for the rest of my life to be the cage that binds Akuma. And at the end of my life will save you. Fades from view. The last thing you hear. That is all that I am now.
Goodbye, Dad.
Everything around
She's
you
trying not to,
guys
but she's fucking kinda crying.
freezes.
What is going on?
Everyone, no, everybody is frozen but David.
Oh no!
Oh, it's wish time, boy!
The wind begins to kick up more. Snow begins to blow about the area, till eventually you can't see anything around you. And finally it pulls away and you find yourself in the middle of that, in the middle of that circle of statues. Each of them emblazoned with gemstones, gold trimming. A small mote of light with several rings around it appears in front of you. I believe I need no explanation for why I'm here. Quantavius has conceded his role as a master.
Yeah.
What is your wish for the Holy Grail?
That's fair.
It's entirely fair.
I don't know.
Know that anything that you wish can be granted, so long as a method for it remains. This system is already connected to Type Luna, with whom you have a contract. As of this moment, consider the terms of your contract fulfilled. You have stopped most of the entities from reaching the Grail, and those that did come close did not try to claim it, or at least did not lay their hands upon it. Your sister will be healed, as per our contract. And once you make your wish, your business with Type Luna will be considered concluded. You'll be stripped of the powers that you had been granted. Do you find this acceptable?
That's fine.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah.
Don't you do it.
No!
Don't you?
Hey.
No! You bastard! Why am I the only one here?
Because you're the only one making a wish?
You're a bitch! I need their help!
I bet you do.
So, would it be possible to perfect the prison that Akuma is trapped in? The body of Quantavius Kraken.
The current prison does not have the materials required or the proficiency to trap it in the way that your heart speaks of wanting. But the creation of a new prison with more refined materials is possible, if that is what you wish for.
Would it be permanent?
Yes.
That's what I'll wish for then.
In that case, the wish no longer falls onto you. This Grail is not without some level of compassion. Those who would truly be affected by this will be spoken to. As of this moment, your contract is concluded, and you will be sent to your sister.
You know where she is, by the way?
You don't hear anything back from that. Light fades. You're gonna disappear. I'm gonna pull someone else in here. Bye. See you later, buddy. Hey, is he?
Hi! Oh my god!
So you find yourself in that circle of statues. Alone and isolated. A ball with several floating rings around it in front of you. Ian.
Hello?
I am the interface for the moon cell, for all intents and purposes. I will manage the Grail. A wish has been made. By the logic set forth by Quantavius McCracken, the construction of a new prison, a permanent one that would isolate Akuma, has been requested. The materials for the prison, the body of your father, They are damaged, haphazard, and unrefined. So the construction of a new prison is required. However, to take action upon somebody that has benefited the Grail so thoroughly seems wrong to the limited logic that I'm presented with. The children of Quantavius are born from his flesh and so inherit its qualities. Whereas he was only flesh that was thrown together, you are the refined offspring of a mage, and someone who had the inherent quality of being able to contain the demon Akuma. The wish that we want to grant is as follows. Create a prison. One that will remain dormant. Place the cobalt gem within it, and then hold that gemstone within the entropic space within the moon cell, separating it entirely from the world. The prison will prevent Akuma from acting, and those who remain on Earth that are under the influence of Akuma will be separated from it. They will be able to live, and then when they die, they will have proper afterlives. I believe you likely understand what the materials for that prison are.
And Isla would be spared?
The Grail has watched all of the Masters, and it has taken in your basic impulses. We are talking to you first, because we believe your mind to be closer to that of Quantavius than your sister. Not in any moral sense, but we believe that you would understand the logic of the situation. If this occurs, you will not die. You will merely be held here, dormant. And the moon cell will do what it can to accommodate your stay and make you comfortable. Your sister would remain, and those souls bound to Akuma would be freed from their influence, including the wandering soul of Valeria, and other demons and spirits that have been bound to that wretched inferno. Your father would be stripped of all but his knowledge and latent magical energy, no longer able to unleash Akuma upon the world, and his lifespan would become limited, his immortality taken from him. You may refuse. If you do, the same question will be presented to your sister. Know that there is no other method that we currently know of.
If that's the case, then it's not even a question. If you have to take something, then take it from me.
You understand that this would be the end of your life, for all intents and purposes.
I do. But the alternative is something that I could never live with. I know my sister too well to know how she'd answer. So I just gotta beat her to the punch and, make it first, you know?
The Moon Cell and Type Luna, by extension, the Moon Festival Holy Grail, excels at containing, freezing, analyzing. If we had more of a disposition towards destruction, we may have been able to destroy Akuma entirely. It will be passed on to your sister that there is one final method, one thing that is powerful enough to completely wipe away the incinerator. However, if we pass that information along, she will likely seek it out. So we leave that choice in your hands as well. Would you like us to inform your sister that the Sunsong Holy Grail War's Grail is capable of destroying Akuma through sheer power, where we would fail?
No. No, don't tell her. She deserves to be happy. To be able to
We're sailing a friendship. The
go off
SS
with
get along.
David and live a normal life. If she knows that there's a way to get me out of this, then she'll just keep fighting until she either finds it or she dies. I want her to have that peace of mind, that she's already done everything she can to stop this. This is my choice. I think I'm okay with this.
I see. Your answers are within our predictions. I'm sure that those around you will thank you for this. You are perhaps the only one that was capable of making this decision.
Oh, I don't know about that. Come to know some pretty great, pretty strong-willed people. I think I'm just the one who made it first. Are you able to pass on any other information to my friends?
We could pass a message along, but our capacity is limited effectively to the wish. This interface is relatively human, but I'm sure you understand. We don't hold any genuine sympathy for your kind. We'll pass on a single message. That will be the extent of the moon cell's generosity.
Can you just tell them that I made this choice completely willingly, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I just want them all to live happy, peaceful lives.
It will be done. As this happens, as you say that, it disappears and everything around you vanishes. You see small specks of light, of red, hot light, building up and coalescing into a point. And then you see this cobalt gemstone about the size of a fist form around it, which then itself turns into a bluish energy and seems to just gently drift into your chest, and you feel it sit beside your heart. As it does, the area around you brightens. The darkness, the infinite darkness around you, begins to be filled with all sorts of what look like constructs that you as a player would recognize as data. Begins to take shape, geometric shapes, and then textures build on top of it. You find yourself standing in the middle of London. People begin appearing around you, digitizing in.
What's going on here?
You will be made comfortable during your stay. Enjoy this world that exists only for you. You can live out what a normal life might have been. Your memories will eventually begin to create those you know. Affectionate copies will come into being, ones that will function exactly like the originals. Our observations are perfect. Live out your life as a mage in this virtual space within the moon cell, knowing that it is your prison, and yet a gift granted to you.
I don't think you'll ever be able to truly recreate my loved ones, but I appreciate the effort. And if nothing else, got a pretty interesting new world to study. As a mage and a scientist, I won't lie, this is pretty intriguing. I think I should be able to keep myself pretty occupied for a while.
So, you guys, this snowstorm kicks up around you, and you all lose sight of each other within it, even those directly beside you. As it does, Yukinkage flies up, seemingly trying to get out of this snowstorm. As it becomes blinding, just as a cinematic, you guys find yourself, as it clears, back at the site of the church. The snow has let up to a great degree. The blizzard appears to have stopped for a while. Hanging up in the sky, it is the middle of the day by this point. Hanging up in the sky, the second moon, completely formed, glowing a radiant color, a radiant, soft blue. You see, as you guys settle in, the huge flapping of wings, and you see Yukinkage fly up away from the hill, coming up from around it, having also been transported back, and flies off into the distance for the sake of cinematics. Watching from the forest, Cybele regards the moon and the dragon that flies overhead of her location, her eyes looking to it curiously, and she gives a very soft smile. Intriguing. And she starts walking in the direction of where the dragon went. As that happens, you guys all remain. So, Heckin, Jean and Isla, you guys both recognize, after a second left, you are short some people.
What?
Neither David nor Ian are present.
Are you fucking serious? Where's David and Ian?
David?
You guys,
Ian.
where are they? Ian?
David!
David! Dude, she's just panicking.
So,
she's fucking
where are we at?
running around looking for him.
So, you guys all hear a noise that sounds like a voice being played through a recorder. Izzy, do you want to relate verbatim what your last message was there?
Where are you? What the fuck happened?
And nothing more?
Oh, I kind of forget the exact wording.
Give the general gist of it.
I made this choice willingly, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
What did you do?
Wait for him to finish.
I just want you guys to live happy, peaceful lives. You don't have to worry about me.
Isla, you feel lighter as if some weight that's been on your shoulders your entire life is not present.
What the fuck's happening?
You hear a very faint clapping coming from elsewhere, and you see, walking up towards the hill, you see, for the first time, without any altered environment or anything, you see Twice walking up, clapping towards you guys, his hat off, his coat taken off and folded over one of his arms, as if it was too warm for him to wear.
She's like stomping towards him.
And so, congratulations! The Moon Festival Holy Grail War has come to an end.
Where are David and Ian?
Pulls out gun.
Yeah.
Valley Maker.
Fuck, I don't care what he has to say to me. Where are they?
He puts his hands up. He puts his hands up rather sheepishly. You wouldn't attack a simple onlooker, would you?
I don't care about you. If you know where they are, I will hurt you.
I have a vague idea. Vague? Please don't see me with such, antagonistic intent. I came to congratulate you for your victory and see you off in style. You want to know where they are. First of all, nice to meet you for the first time proper. I am Twice. And up until now, I have only been able to appear to you in your mind. But for the first time, here I am, in the flesh. He, grips his hand. The newly reclaimed flesh. For those of you that are not familiar with me, I am the one who created this Grail War ritual, and I'm very happy to have seen it to its completion. I'm the one that facilitated... I'm the one who facilitated the contract between himself and Type Luna. Where are they? Why, David has been taken to see his sister. Simple as that. His wish has been granted. His contract with Type Luna has expired, he has been removed from his magical abilities, and he has been taken elsewhere to see her.
Where exactly is that?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I severed my connection to the Grail to prevent it from trying to, shall we say, regurgitate me? Might be the proper term. I got what I wanted from it and wished for nothing more. So.
No one's impossible to find, Isla.
Well.
Okay. Well, where's my brother?
That would be the exception, wouldn't it? I'm unclear on exactly where he is. I don't know what happened up there. But all things considered, I would say that, in all likelihood, he stayed behind. You see, the Moon Cell, it's like a different world entirely. A completely different one. Why, it might as well be heaven or hell. So for something to remain there, it would cut it off from any connection that it had to anything in the outside world. To keep something there that was powerful enough to leave on its own, a proper cage would be required. I think you'll find your heart no longer weighed down by thoughts of that terrible demon that binds you, Isla. But unfortunately, a choice had to be made, I'm sure. Somebody had to become the materials to form a new cage. To make a choice based out of love is the most human thing you could do. He has saved you, and he has saved his father, I'm sure, who wanders around here somewhere, still reeking of that demon. Now, I'm sure he's not dead. After all, if the method was to make him into a cage like Quantavius was, Quantavius hadn't died. He claps his hands together. Come on, you should be celebrating. He did this for you. This is a wonderful, joyous thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
You do. He lets you do it. Doesn't really recoil much from it, but does step back. Ah, human anger. So quick to boil over. That's such a wonderful thing. Such a base impulse. I didn't put him there. You must understand that. I had no choice. I didn't tell the Grail what to do. Of course. It's a pity, isn't it? That you had to get caught up in this war. He puts his hat back on and he turns around and looks out at the valley. Oh, just that there might have been other means out there. That perhaps Akuma was indestructible to this Grail, but, well, it's not really for me to say. I have a feeling that if you didn't find out, then somebody didn't want you to.
What do you mean?
My lips are sealed, I'm sorry.
I will hit you again.
and I welcome you to do it. Pain is wonderful. Pretty much any sensation is. Oh,
What's going to happen with that? Points to the moon.
I imagine it will remain there until it has created a body for the ultimate one residing within, and then it will hatch, and I suppose, if your brother is up there, his dream will come to an end around that time. But not to worry, because the day that that happens is the day the world will likely end. It will be long after you're dead. Don't worry about it.
Bell said the turn of the century.
Mm-hmm. Is that how long it's going to take?
How do I get him back?
Well, if you got him back, you'd be right back at square one. Don't you feel better without that demon in you?
I don't care. I just want my brother back.
I see. I suppose you could wish him back. But again, if that possibility hadn't been passed on to you, I feel as if you weren't meant to know.
You went slightly robot-y there, Logan. What?
What part did you hear?
Something about no. I don't know.
Oh yes, if you could wish him back, but then again, if that possibility wasn't passed on to you, you probably weren't meant to know. That's information that you should just give up on.
Please tell me.
Are you sure? I would be betraying the confidence of your brother to tell you, I assume.
I need to know.
The Second Grail. The Sunsong Holy Grail is tied to an entity called Type Sol, which, unlike Type Luna, is not trying to appear on the Earth. No. Type Sol, rather, wants to keep its children in line. It wants to incinerate the moon above us. And so that Grail ritual is only for the sake of amassing enough power to do so. Now, since that Grail is geared towards massive amounts of magical energy, turned into power that could wipe something like an ultimate one from the world, in theory, destroying something like Akuma should be within its ability. And then if Akuma was gone, what need would there be for a cage? But don't get any silly ideas in your head. There are no servants left in that war. I made sure that they were all summoned around the same time, so that nobody would try to hop between them. You'd best just go about living your life. No further details here need bother you. Oh yes, and to all of you, thank you again. I haven't been out and been able to stretch my legs for a long time. Or had legs, really. Maester Lee would also like to thank you, I'm sure, but she's off attending to her business.
Kids, I'd like to tell you that the voices in my
What
head
will you
stopped
do?
one day. They never did.
Me? I will see the Second War on till its conclusion, and then I will wait.
What's your real name?
Oh, well, I suppose I don't have one, but are you saying that David never pieced it together?
I don't follow.
I don't believe so. Somebody ever referred to
You
you.
never told me.
My name. My full name, I suppose you could call me Twice Iscariot. I am... how to put this? A personality programmed into a certain sphere that was until recently trapped underneath the Louvre. My wish and the reason that I, before I had this body, went about trying to set up the Grail War was to achieve a proper body. And now I have one.
You're trying to tell me that you're Longinus?
Absolutely not, no. Longinus was... unless you... well, no one's called me that for a very long time anyways. Longinus was the man that held me when I was born. I was eventually named after the betrayer of Christ, but that's beyond me. I feel that Twice is more fitting. Do I upset you? Member of the church? Can you tolerate me being out and about?
As a member of the church and as a dragonborn, I can't say I take kindly to someone like you.
Well, I can't take kindly to somebody like you. But I'm willing to forgive. Live and let live, I always say. Or at least I'll start. Right.
Just
So,
glaring at him.
enough about that. I suppose you all have things to see. Isla, you notice a trail of blood leading off from the mountain, or leading off from the hill.
Is it like coming from him or?
Nope, just leading off.
What's that?
I believe that would be your father. Wandering out into the world trying to find a solution. And he's been saved from his former predicament. However, he's certainly been given a new one. I wonder what lengths he'll go to try to save his son.
He wouldn't be able to make off to that other war, would he?
Like I said, all of the servants were summoned and the masters chosen beforehand. There is no space there. Not unless something were to happen to one of the masters, or the servants. Well, if the servants, it wouldn't really matter.
I'll say the same thing I said to that dragon. Don't cause any trouble.
If I had things my way, things would be consistently tepid. You don't need to worry.
Isla, we can figure something out. We need to go.
Yeah.
It's kind of like goes over to her and tries to like direct her toward a different area. Like,
Oh yeah,
going
she's
this
a
way.
mess.
We're going toward Diane's car.
Like, oh my god. She is a broken human right now.
Just like puts hands on shoulders and is directing her down the road.
I would like to ask, where are you guys going, specifically?
I know it's probably not going to be there, but like heads off toward where we parked Diane's car.
I mean,
down at the base of the hill.
Assuming you find the car, where are you going?
Where'd Orla say she was going?
Yeah,
Back to
we
her
need go
mansion for
south.
now.
I want to go see Orla.
We need to go south. No one's in that town, hopefully. We can get there as quickly as we can.
As you guys, as the four of you are headed off in that direction, Twice looks on from up on the top of the hill from the ruined church. His hair blowing in the wind, he takes in a deep breath, seems to enjoy the feeling of air on his skin. Puts his hands out. Well, I believe that's enough celebrating. Go clean up the ones that are left. We don't need any of them trying to jump over. As he does, a man steps out from having leaned against the wall, shadows revealing him to appear as he phases in, as servants do. And Spooky Grandpa looks over the valley, points his spear out towards...
Fuck you, dude!
Points his
I don't
spear out
need
towards where the car's going. The three girls that are normally with him appear behind him. Find the ones that are left. Hunt them down. And they disappear. And that's today's game.
Yay!
Woo!
Got it.
I love you.
This has been fun.